Welcome to the What If Ask AI channel. On this channel, we ask multiple AI services what if questions. The what if questions was made back in my childhood when I was asked to put all my questions in a binder because my family was tired of me asking them all the questions I had in mind. Now, later in the future, I'm taking the questions I made from my childhood and asking the AI services the questions and reviewing and judging their responses. I hope you enjoy this channel.
Welcome back to the What If Ask AI channel, and today we're looking at this question: what if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? As always, I have two example what if questions to give the AI services something I'm looking for, and then the AI services I'll be using today is ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Perplexity, and Duck AI. So now let's ask ChatGPT this question: what if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? Okay, ChatGPT's answer is that would probably become a very dangerous and chaotic situation, since trains are designed to stay on tracks and could crash into obstacles or terrain if they kept on going. Now let's see what Copilot's response to the question is. What if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? Okay, I'm gonna read the output from Copilot. So a train running off its tracks and still barreling forward is a very chaotic what if. So here's a response in the same spirit as your examples: simple, conversational, reacting to the scenario rather than analyzing it. So their answer was, I'd say that would be one wild sight, and I'd probably be hoping everyone involved got out of the situation safely. What if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? Okay, so here's Gemini's response. Well, that would certainly be quite the sight to behold, and I'd say we have a runaway locomotive on our hands. But looking at it from a slightly more grounded perspective, here is what would actually happen. The immediate reality: in the real world, a train that runs off its tracks, a derailment, usually becomes to a very abrupt, violent stop. Without the smooth, solid steel rails to glide on, the heavy wheels sink into the dirt, gravel, or ties, creating massive friction and causing the train to plow to a halt, tip over, or crumble. The Hollywood scenario: for a train to actually keep on going off the tracks, it would need an incredible amount of forward momentum, a very flat surface like a massive concrete plaza or frozen lake, and a lot of luck. Even then, it would behave less like a train and more like a chaotic, multi-ton sled tearing up everything in its path until friction finally won the battle. Alright, now let's see what Perplexity's response to the question is. What if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? Alright, so here's Perplexity's response. That would be pretty alarming, and I'd hope everyone involved stays safe while it gets brought under control quickly. Alright, now let's go to Duck AI and ask it the question: what if a train ran off its tracks and kept on going? Let's see what its response is. Okay, so here is Duck AI's response. Short answer: physically impossible under ordinary conditions. The train would almost certainly derail, slow rapidly, and come to a stop or crash. It would not keep rolling safely on normal terrain for long. Why? And it's going to give me some concise and key points. Wheels and rails. Train wheels are flanged and ride on rails. Off the rails, they lose guidance and stability, so wheel sets will slip, dig in, or climb over obstacles, causing immediate derailment. Friction and resistance: without rails, rolling resistance and ground friction increase drastically. Soil, ballast, pavement. Speed drops quickly. Components break under shock loads. Structural damage: bogies, axles, couplers, and the car body are not designed for uneven ground, likely catastrophic damage, broken suspension, torn underframes, and flipped cars. Braking and control. Air brakes may still function, but are optimized for on-track dynamics. Automatic safety systems would trigger emergency braking. Crew control effectiveness is limited. Environment and obstacles. Trackside objects, ties, ballast, embankments, grade crossings, vegetation, roads will stop or divert the train. Hitting road vehicles or buildings multiplies damage and casualties. Speed and momentum. At low speed, you might see a brief uncontrolled roll before stopping. At high speed, inertia causes severe destruction over a longer uncontrolled path. Possible exceptional scenarios: on very smooth, level, hard surfaces, concrete apron, a heavy rail vehicle might skid or slide a short distance, but still with major damage and safety risk. Net result: the train would derail and very quickly lose controlled motion. Outcome ranges from stopping shortly after leaving the rails to a high damage crash, causing derailment, vehicle breakup, and likely injuries or fatalities. Okay, now I'm going to go over the rankings of the AI services, so 5 being the worst and 1 being the best. In 5, I have ChatGPT. Now, all the AI services responses were great, but this one, I kind of felt like it just said that it would be dangerous and very chaotic. And I kind of felt like this was just a basic response, but it was good. All of them were good though. So that's why I put ChatGPT as 5. For 4, I put Copilot, because I like the words that it kind of said. So the answer, it said that it would be one wild sight, and it also mentioned the safety of everybody involved. So hoping everyone involved got out the situation quickly. And so that's why I put Copilot as number 4. For 3, I put Perplexity, and say it's very similar to Copilot's response, but it said the word alarming, and I like that. And then it also mentioned how everybody stays safe while the situation gets under control quickly. So I like that response. So that's why I had Perplexity as 3. And then for 2, I had Gemini. And the reason I put Gemini as number 2 is while it did have more than the expected output that I gave, like my examples only had like 1 sentence, I like how it gave like 2 responses, one being like what would happen in real life, and then one being like what would happen in Hollywood or like in a movie. And I'm gonna be honest, when I thought of this question back in my youth, I would highly say that I was probably thinking of this question in the Hollywood or the movie or the imagination side of it, and not really the immediate reality. So I liked how I brought up both of those. So it said that in the real world, the train would just come to a very abrupt stop or violent stop. So I like how it provided both of those. So that's why I put Gemini as 2. And then number 1, I had put Duck AI, and same thing. It thought of the answer in real life. It said that it would be physically impossible. I did like how it said that. And even though my question asked, what if it went off the tracks and kept going, it just said, nope, it's physically impossible. That won't happen. So I liked how it said that, and then I also liked how it provided all of these bullet points about why. So wheels and rails, friction and resistance, structural damage, braking control, environment and obstacles, speed and momentum, and then possible exceptional scenarios. So again, my ranking for the AI services are the following: ChatGPT is 5, Copilot is 4, Perplexity is 3, Gemini is 2, and Duck AI is 1. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.